Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give honor, praise, and infinite glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Peace, blessing, and salutation to the Akim that are pushing his word throughout the four corners of the earth in all truth and sincerity. All right, Lord willing, this reaches the ears of the hopeful elect. All right, it's your brother Kazak Tazabah coming at you once again through the power and spirit of Yahweh Shemel Shai. Lord willing, this lesson is edifying. All right, so as watchmen, okay, standing up on that high tower, all right, we're bringing out the news, man. All right, and this here is a major step towards prophecy, man. All right, going into Matthew the 24th chapter, how it speaks on wars and rumors of wars. All right, well, this here is a prime example of a rumor of war. All right, and I came across this article in Natural News, led by the Spirit. It says, "Is communist China planning to attack the U.S.?" Okay, and as you saw in that quick little video, all right, it pretty much explained what's been going on for the past couple weeks or so. All right, so before I get into this article, I want to bring something out because as you can see in the title of the lesson, I'm gonna name it along the lines of the Trojan horse will bring the black swan. Okay, and it's really going into code word. All right, but if you don't already know the Trojan horse metaphor, okay, it was when it says it here. Not going to really go into it too deep, but essentially what happened was it says during the Trojan War, all right, to enter their city, okay, they brought in a wooden horse, okay, and it had troops inside of it, okay, and metaphorically it's used. It says the term Trojan horse is used metaphorically to mean any trick or strategy that causes a target to invite a foe into a securely protected place, or to deceive by appearance, hiding malevolent intent in an outwardly benign exterior, to subvert from within using deceptive means. Okay, so in other words, it's a tactic, okay, a war tactic to infiltrate, okay, a space, a place, all right, and essentially the place is going to be here and in Babylon the Great, okay, and the black swan, all right, it says the black swan theory, or the theory of black swan events, is a metaphor that describes an event that comes as a surprise, has a major effect, and is often inappropriately rationalized after the fact with the benefit of hindsight. Okay, so there it's this is a surprise, okay, that could possibly have a major effect. All right, the WEF had even, or was it the WEF or the WHO? I forget who exactly it was, but they're pretty much saying that the next Plan D, okay, is going to be far worse than the C-19. Okay, and because, and this is just me speaking as a man, but through the talks and through the news that's been put out, there's a lot of talk of the cyber Plan D. Okay, the next one is going to be a cyber one, and that's gonna if they shut down the grid, okay, for one, these people out here don't know what to do when there's no internet, let alone a damn social media site. Imagine when the internet completely goes out and the grid goes out, people are going to be bugged out of their mind. All right, but they're saying that there's fears that that Russia or maybe China, okay, are planning a cyber or has a cyber threat, or pushing a cyber threat towards U.S. Okay, and we know that both Russia and China are a part of the BRICS nations. Okay, one of the major nations that are part of the BRICS alliance. Okay, they're working hand in hand. They're working together. All right. So Russia potentially pushing forth some sort of cyber event, okay, that takes down the grid, and then China, all right, is pushing, having it to where their military aged men, okay, will infiltrate, the borders of America. Okay. So, enough rambling. Let me read a little bit of this article, and then I want to bring out another article if Lord wills it. But it says, is the Communist China planning to attack the U.S., right? It says, it has become apparent that Hispanics are not the only people illegal rushing through America's porous southern border, especially now that Title 42 has ended. There are also Chinese infiltrators that appear to be possible members of the People's Liberation Army, PLA, the military arm of the Chinese Communist Party. It says, according to eyewitness accounts, a disturbingly large number of unaccompanied fighting-age men who appear to be fit are making their way through Latin America and into the United States via the nation's open borders. Okay, once again, think about those BRICS nations. All right, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. All right, all these nations. Okay, for one, think about what's over here in the Western Hemisphere. All right, Brazil is a part of that that BRICS ally. So who's to say that they didn't just drop them off over there in Brazil, and when Title 42 ended, okay, they just migrated upward towards Central America and into through Mexico and into the United States. Okay, and let's not forget the cargo, the port of entries, the ports, the port of LA, port of New York, New Jersey, Galveston, all these different places. The cargo, there's cargo, and those cargo, the volume of the cargo has increased. Okay. I saw a video. One of the brothers posted it, and it was a quick little video from TikTok, and pretty much saying that they don't have enough workers, but the load has increased. All right, those loads, those cargo loads can potentially have living conditions or living arrangements. Okay, and those are being brought over from all various places throughout the world. Okay, and they're just chilling. All right, but let's just say, for instance, when the grid goes down, because it will, all right, because they just need a reason for to reset, okay, the internet, or to reset everything, okay, and it's going to be a matter of in my opinion, I could be wrong, and once again, I'm just speaking as a man. Don't take my word for it, but just keep your eyes open, man. All right, July 1st, the central bank digital currency, Fed Now, okay, is going to be, implemented. Okay. So between now up until July or into the summer, we could very well be experiencing a blackout. Okay. And then once that blackout happens, that's the cue, so to speak, for these fighting aged men, okay, to be activated, So, hey, it's just, these are just things that the Spirit is allowing me to, to unveil, okay, or just, to put it out there, okay, because it's important to think of these possibilities, man, But as long as we're focused, okay, being diligent, being circumspect, giving, honoring Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, okay, keep doing his work. All right, we're going to be protected, man. We're going to be okay. All right. So reading on, it says, for a long while now, Communist China has maintained an unrestricted warfare policy the aim of which is to take down the United States through a violent military conflict. This is the plot of dictator Xi Jinping, we are told, who are in addition to targeting Taiwan and other Indo-Pacific countries, has also set his high sights on the U.S. It says it is only a matter of time before CCP sleeper cells are activated to unleash hell on America. And that's a spirit, because I didn't even read this. I didn't even read this yet. And it's literally saying exactly what I already previously said. All right. They're known as sleeper cells. OK, and I've heard that term before. All right. But that's what they are, man. They're going to be activated. Right. It says the CCP's plan to attack America that addresses the potential threat. You can watch it at this website, whatever. It says the presenters estimate that as many as 5 battalions worth of what could be a PLA special operation personnel, or about 5,000 men, have already been ushered into America and are now insulated, meaning they are ready and awaiting their next orders. You see, they're just awaiting their next orders. Okay, and it's going to, and I believe through the spirit that it's going to be an event that takes place that advises them, to be activated. Not necessarily someone saying anything, okay, or or whatever it is. Maybe it's code word from Xi Jinping, and that they all that they all know about, or let's just say an event such as a cyber attack. Okay, where the grid completely goes down, that's their cue. We don't know the situation. We don't know the scenario. However, we do know that it's coming. Okay. It says these organized units were quietly allowed into the country over the past several months, and they continue to pour in day after day. Time will tell what they attempt to do next, but it will almost certainly not be in good terms in maintaining the best interests of everyday Americans. All right, going down, it says the webinar explains the doctrinal basis for China's surprise attack style and how this tactic could be used as a moment's notice by the CCP to wage war in America from within. The presenters also discuss the many vulnerabilities in the U.S. that make it easier than many people think to disrupt American life and overthrow it. Okay. So, hey, that's pretty much it. Okay. That's pretty much the point. But I also see this here. Okay. It says U.S. government say Russia will soon attack power grid, which means the deep state is planning another false thing on America. Okay. I'm not going to say certain words. All right. Just using wisdom there. Okay. So you see, look at what's going on, man. Not only are they speaking about the infiltration of Chinese and pretty much, let's just say Chinese and UN troops. Okay. Because that was just 5,000 Chinese men. All right. That's not to include the UN troops that are already here, potentially. Okay. Now they're talking about Russia they're planning on attacking the power grid. Let's read this. It says the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, a creation of former Republican President George Bush regimes is setting the stage for the next major false thing on the nation, which will more than likely be blamed on Russia. Okay, it says CBS Morning, a corporate media fake news program, suggested in a recent broadcast that the scapegoat will probably be Russia supporting right-wing extremists targeting the country's energy grid, even though we know the actual culprit will be the U.S. It says DHS documents already framing the narrative that mythical right-wing extremists adhering to range of ideologies will likely continue a plot to encourage physical attacks on the nation, or perhaps it will be Russia directly. That takes down the American power grid to create widespread chaos. All right. So I want to play this quick little video and then continue on.
Homeland Security is warning of a potential troubling escalation in tactics from right-wing extremists. Catherine Herridge has more on this, and she joins us from Washington. Catherine, we understand the power grid could be a target?
Good morning. According to the intelligence report obtained by CBS News, these groups have developed credible and specific plans to attack the power grid since at least 2020 as a way to disrupt the country and the ability of government to operate. The report warns extremists adhering to a range of ideologies will likely continue to plot and encourage physical attacks against power networks, which include more than 6,400 plants and nearly 500,000 miles of high voltage lines. While the bulletin emphasized small-scale attacks are unlikely to cause widespread power loss, it may cause disruption to critical infrastructure like hospitals and police departments. Homeland Security noted several indicators, including online chatter. While the report does not suggest an imminent threat, the Homeland Security Secretary has warned lone wolf actors and small bands of extremists are among the greatest domestic threat because they are hard to detect, disrupt, and can mobilize quickly.
All right, Catherine, got it.
Well, tonight, the nation's intelligence agencies are warning of cyber threats from Russia and are urging U.S. critical infrastructure defenses to be reinforced. As CBS's Bill Whitaker reported on Sunday night's 60 Minutes, it wouldn't take much to throw the entire country into darkness.
The grid is a sprawling target. There are actually 3 in the U.S., the Eastern, Western, and Texas has its own. Most of us rarely notice substations. There are 55,000 across the country, each housing transformers, the workhorses of the grid. Inside these massive metal boxes, raw electricity is converted to higher or lower voltages. Should a transformer explode, like this one in Manhattan during Superstorm Sandy, the system is designed to trigger a localized grid-preserving blackout. But if several sections of the grid go down at the same time, the shutdowns can cascade like dominoes. That's what set off the Great Northeast Blackout in 2003, leaving 45 million Americans without power. A few months before the assault on Metcalf, John Wellinghoff of FERC commissioned a study to see if a physical attack on critical transformers could trigger cascading blackouts.
It was actually a very shocking result to us that there's a very few number of substations you need to take out in the entire United States to knock out the entire grid.
Knock out the entire grid?
That's correct.
How many would it take to knock out, putting the entire country in a blackout?
Less than 20.
And Bill Whitaker joins us now. So, Bill, just 20 substations to knock out the entire system? I mean, that's unbelievable. But your reporting is it could be even less than that.
That's right, Nora. That report was from 2013, and it actually found the number was even lower, 9. Taking out just 9 critical substations could black out the whole country. We were told by multiple sources that the number has not changed much, that less than 20 is a fair assessment.
Well, what can the government do or anybody do about this?
Spend money, and spend it on 2 things. 1, to increase the capacity of these high-powered transmission lines so you decrease their vulnerability to large-scale blackouts. That's already happening through the administration's new infrastructure bill. And 2, invest in better security. But that's not happening right now. Remember, the country's 3,000 power companies are in the business of selling electricity, not national security. And this last point is really important because the threat is real. Just last week, 3 white supremacists pleaded guilty to plotting to attack power grids throughout the country. And they had a plan to hit critical substations simultaneously to cause a massive blackout.
Quite scary. Bill Whitaker, thank you.
You see? So they're terrified, man. They're scared. All right? You know? But these are things that we've already been anticipating, man. All right? Because, hey, through the Spirit of the Lord, man, we're not in darkness. You know? The Lord, he revealed these things unto us, and that's why we've been speaking on these things for so long now. All right? They've been talking about this whole blackout thing since last year, if not sooner. You see? It says predictive programming suggests grid takedown will be the next 9 911 style false event. Okay. It says the C-19 was alleged biological, all right, attack, but the next one, likely induced by an EMP, would probably be a cyber thing unleashed through key infrastructure that powers the current age. All right. Then you got what's her name? Candace, whatever her name is. All right, talking about it as well. Now you gotta. Oh, I want to read that because it says WEF head Klaus Schwab himself ominously stated that the C thing would be a small disturbance in comparison to the next planned thing. It says, which will more likely strike the power grid. You see, they've been talking about this whole cyber thing for quite some time now. All right. So, and not only that, you got to remember those they've been preparing for this, man. You got the senators that was all issued, or 50 of them were issued satellite phones for what? Okay. And really, I believe, because there's 100 senators, there's 2 per state. All right. Which means each state would probably issue 1, where both senators are going to be using one satellite phone. Okay. So, hey, but the fact that they were issued satellite phones should set off, a flag, a red flag. Okay. They're getting ready for something. All right. So I'm going to just get Isaiah chapter 13 real quick. Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 6, it says, "Howl ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt. And they shall be afraid, pangs and sorrows shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman that travail. They shall be amazed one at another, their faces shall be as flames." All right. Now that's talking about the destruction of the Lord. Okay, but the key takeaway there was, hey man, they're going to be afraid, man. They're going to be terrified. It talks about in the book of Exodus, all right, where when there was the darkness that went over the land, right? It says, "And Yahweh said unto Moses, stretch out thy hand toward heaven, that there may be darkness over the land of Egypt, even darkness which may be felt." Okay. It's one thing to be in a dark place, man. Okay. When it's dark outside, you may have a street light, you may have a car light, a restaurant light. Okay. It's still light, but it's dark outside. But imagine everything off, everything out, unless you don't know what that looks like unless you've been out, in the country somewhere, certain parts of, Georgia, where there's no street lights, it's black, and I know that just because I grew up there, and certain parts of Georgia, they don't have lights. Okay. It's complete darkness, or if you go camping and you out in the woods or the desert somewhere camping. All right. That's what it looks like to be completely dark. Okay. So that's a darkness that's going to be felt, but not only a darkness, not only a physical darkness, but it's going to be a spiritual darkness in the land too, man. Right. It says, "And Moses stretched forth his hand toward heaven, and there was a thick darkness in all the land of Egypt 3 days. They saw not one another, neither rose any from his place for 3 days, but all the children of Israel had light in their dwelling." You see, Israel had light in their dwelling, man. You see, it says no one saw each other, man. It says that in Second Esdras. Let me get that real quick. Let's get Second Esdras chapter 16 and verse. This is Second Esdras chapter 16 and verse 27. It says, "So that one man shall desire to see another, and to hear his voice. For of a city there shall be 10 left, 2 of the field, which shall hide themselves in the thick groves and in the clefts of the rock." All right. So it's going to be completely quiet out here, at least, you know, for a couple of days, because people are not going to know what to do with themselves. Okay. And then it's going to get to a point where people are going to you know, take matters into their own hand. It talks about that in the chapter prior. All right. It says in 2 Ezra 15:15, for the sword of their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. There should be sedition among men and invading one another. You see? So these rich houses, these people with money, okay, hey, they're gonna feel it, man. All right? Just because you got all that money, you feel like you protected, man. But riches profit not in the day of wrath, man. Okay? It says, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the courses of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. All right. Yep. It says, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. You see, great tribulation is coming to Babylon the Great. All right. Let me get Jeremiah 30. Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 3. For lo, the days come, saith the Lord, I will bring again the captivity of my people, Israel and Judah, saith Yahweh, saith the Lord, and I will cause them to return to the land that I gave to their fathers, and they shall possess it. And these are the words that the Lord spake concerning Israel and concerning Judah. For thus saith the Lord, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. And we're hearing that voice. We're hearing that voice now, man. All right. These people are trembling in their boots, man. They're shaking in their boots. All right. The talks of the fear of an EMP or a cyber attack. Okay. The talks of us being invaded by China. Okay. The financial system, you know, is not what it used to be, which is a direct reflection of its power. Okay, when your currency has no value or is depleting in value, it shows that you're weak. Okay, that's what the scriptures talk about, the weak saying that I'm strong. You know, they're weak. This nation is weak, man. It says, ask ye now and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness, because people are not going to be knowing what to do. All right, we're at the end of this kingdom, man. We're at the end of this time, this rulership, and people aren't going to know what to do, man, because for so long they've trusted in this in their country. All right, that this place, they think this place would never fall. I got news for you. This place is done. Right? Verse 7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. And that he is referring to the elect. Okay? The elect out of the elect nation, which is the nation of Israel. Okay? And we just pray and hope that we're a part of that number, man. You know? So that's pretty much it. Okay? Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. And with that, I want to give honor, praise, and infinite glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash. And until next time, Shalom.